Hi guys, this is Jean-Christophe Novelli. So, Christmas is on the way, or around the corner. I was hoping to show you a little bit of a recipe that you can use with turkey or anything else you want. But obviously I can't get myself some fresh turkey at the moment as we speak, so I'm going to be using chicken instead. So the dish is called chicken gigolette, which is stuffed with this Christmas stuffing, which if you go back to Mycardirect, you will see the list of the recipes that I'm offering on the website. So you will see the stuffing, and the stuffing will show you exactly what to do with. So what you need is a chicken leg, your lovely stuffing recipe, which I made before, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So make sure that you acknowledge the quality of your legs. So obviously the smell, the colors, the touching, this is relevant enough to find out if the chicken is not in good conditions and so on. Importantly, you will notice that on both sides of the chicken, you will notice there is a little bit of fat, always a little bit of fat, which is around. So if it's not too much, obviously that's a good sign. Also, when you touch it, you can feel clearly this is quite dense, so it's not like some soggy whatever. And everything goes back to the way the chicken was fed. Did that chicken have time to root about, and have some natural ingredients or natural feeling from the soil with all the minerals and so on? Or is it a chicken which has been fed very cheaply and very quickly with some cheap food? So everything is reflected and passed on. And like I said, the first indication is to recognize the quality. So this is what it is. Now, what you tend to do is to acknowledge the skin is fine. Also, another tip, if you want to recognize how good this piece of meat is, you take your skin and you try to stretch it as much as you can. And you can see clearly this is quite resistant, nice and firm. Again, it's essential to recognize that we're dealing with a nice piece of chicken. Now what we do, we put our fingers in the middle, like so, just between the bone. You can see the bone is just in the middle. You got a joint there, another joint in the knee, and then it goes back to the end of the leg. So this is a chicken leg. We got two parts, from there to there, two parts from there to there, and then from there to this one. So I'm stretching the meat and trying to get my knife, which is literally on the top of the bone. So you don't have to do too much, you don't have to slice too much. Whatever you do, do not slice through the skin. Don't make any holes. So here we are, slicing, nice and easy. And then you can see I can feel my fingers touching, so I'm going to put my knife just under. Turn my knife on the other side of the blade. Use the back of the knife and just start scratching. The bone up to the middle joint. We're nearly there. And then, this is what you do, and then turn it upside down, get on both sides of the extremities of the legs, and try to remove very gently the bone, the first part of the bone. Now, if this chicken is proper, and I'm sure it will be, this comes from one of those many supermarkets that there is. What I'm saying is you don't have to go just to your butcher to get chicken. If you do, that's fine, but you can also get yourself some decent, good quality meat in supermarkets. So this one is actually from one of them. And what I'm saying is you can see clearly the bones is not brittle, it's not damaged. Though this is the bone is obviously been, it's a reference of dealing with something which is great. So that reassures me. And then what do? We turn the chicken upside down, and then we get the bottom of the foot, but just near part of the leg, and we keep doing the same. Stretch with your fingers as much as you can. Allow your knife to just keep following. You don't have to have a sharp knife, just sharp enough, and just trying to get your fingers under the bone. Just get access, put your knife under, and start slicing to liberate this part. So very similar with a turkey. Turkey leg will be a bit bigger, of course, but it's exactly technically the same principle. So here we are, you scrap a little bit, and you go back to the middle. You can see clearly everything is showing around. There we are. Then remove it. Take the bone, go through the cartilage. Sometimes there's a bit of cartilages. Take them out, and then you end up with this. So imagine your turkey leg will be much bigger. You might have some tendons, which is on the end of your leg. So you take them one by one, about 3, 4, 5 different, quite very thin on piece of tendon, which you can remove, like I said. Occasionally, you might have some excess of cartilage, which is not the end of the world. And that's it. So what you do is you look around on both sides. So back to the chicken leg. A chicken leg with the bone had to be roasted will take about 35 minutes maximum, no more. 30 to 35 minutes. Without the bone, 18 minutes. Now, if you slice through without slicing through the skin, but if you go through the flesh, which permits you to see if there's no bits of tendons or cartilage or whatever, like there is just now, it allows you to reduce the cooking time down to from 18 without the bone to probably 15, 14 minutes. So what I'm saying is you don't have to overcook your meat, and especially white meat, in order to play safe. No need. Okay? So that's one thing. When you come to this, it's time to incorporate this wonderful mixture Christmas stuffing, which once again, as I mentioned, you can see the recipe on the website at Mycardirect. And let me wash my hands, and we're going to move to the next thing. Okay? One. So what do? We have some cling film. We got the stuffing. Like this. Just a tiny amount of oil. Just a drop or two. Can be rapeseed oil, olive oil, whatever you like. Then we're going to use a little bit of herbs. Always flavors. Any time of the year. Even down to the basic of the herbs. Rosemary, bay leaves, thyme, whatever. Then we're going to put some black pepper. Just a little bit of a... Voilà. And then we're going to bring this over. So it doesn't matter if you put it that way or that way, is how you feel. Then after this, as we speak, that should be fine before adding your stuffing. But again, if it's not enough, which is always the case with me, you can add a little bit of cumin powder. Now, when you're dealing with spices, make sure that you maintain to keep your spice a bit too long, or and they do pass out, they do dry out. So you're basically having something superb at first, and gradually there's no smell, there's nothing. The best way to recognize the quality of your spice is by doing this. You see, they all stay on the table, so they're decent and they do smell lovely. But I can guarantee you, if you are using something that you're not sure on the table, they might more likely flying away. So that means they are just basically dry and there is nothing left. So that's a nice little tip to recognize. Also, a little bit of fennel seed if you like fennel seed, maybe a touch of coriander. And also, equally, some garlic. Just a touch of garlic, just crack the enzyme, don't chop it too much, and let a little bit of a piece of garlic, which is nice and juicy. Perfect. What I might need to do is to add a tiny amount of rapeseed oil or olive oil, and then finally using some, look at that, nice and very unctuous, not sticky, not humid, not firm. This is going to cook perfect. Bear in mind, there is no fat, there is no pork, it's just the lean of the turkey. So imagine, it might be the tendency of having that a bit too rubber or a little bit too tight. So sometimes add a little bit of water if you have to, and or some oil. Another tip: when you make your stuffing, people expect things very quickly. So you mix, tight, press, put it in the fridge, 2-3 hours, 4 degrees, see temperature of the fridge, and the mixture starts changing because it's colder. Take it out and touch it again. And you will see sometimes there is a transition with change of temperatures. Not so much, but just enough. So timing to allow 2-3 hours to rest, and there is a different result. So you might add, before using your stuffing into the chicken, maybe a little bit more breadcrumb, not very much, a bit of water or a little bit of oil, just to smooth the mixture. So here we are. This smells lovely and it's not even cooked. It's absolutely very, very lovely. So I'm going to put my mixture, more or less, it doesn't matter. Next, what we have. Now, this is very important. How am I going to be rolling this? By not using too much cling film and making sure the tightness of the cling film is not going to actually damage or get cracked or whatever. Very simple. So for what we need to do is to get enough cling film, because what you don't want is to have 2 meters of cling film and you keep rolling and rolling until you get the perfect cebola. No, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you a tip which you can only actually see at my cookery school as we speak, by having just the right amount of cling film. You notice the cling film is actually onto a piece of marble or granite, it doesn't matter. What happens is completely magnet is tight onto the surface. You see that? That's very important. Now, if you don't have the surface of your kitchen table made of granite or marble, you can use a damp cloth, not too much, and this will have a similar result. So what happens is, this is probably a decent amount of cling film. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to do with less. No need of excess. So what do we have? I'm going to put a little bit of herbs. I'm going to add a tiny amount of green. You can add. Colors are very important. It's not just the flavors, it's not just the texture. I think we expect that. But colors is an indication of who you are. It's an extension of who you are. So if you take time, and it doesn't cost you that much, in fact it's quite therapeutic that you add colors, flavors, different textures again. Now, ready? This is where it starts. So what you tend to do is this. You roll this up, nice and tight. Or imagine your turkey leg, which is much bigger. I will suggest, obviously, you use the large cling film, which I have, but instead, you roll it up that way. And it will work because you don't need too much of a length of the cling film to tie that up. Why? Because I'm going to give you a secret, a very special tip. And here we are. So you notice my chicken bone of leg stuffed with this wonderful Christmas stuffing is just literally there. I'm going to add a little bit more oil, just a tiny amount of nothing. Just a little witty there, look at that, no more. And anybody can do it at home. And especially on Christmas, when you're having this big turkey, if you're having turkey, of course, in the oven on that day. What a job to try to get it cooked between the breast and the legs together. It won't work. It's clearly, the legs will take longer, so you end up having something overcooked or dried, So the best is make sure you get them out, get the legs out, get them stuffed, go and see your butcher or whatever you do, and then you will have two different cooking. So this, talking about the legs, as if it was the turkey legs, can be cooked. I'm going to show you the next step, 2-3 days in advance, and kept in the fridge waiting for the big day. So on the big day, you just have to roast the crown. That's it. And then you add your legs into the dish, the roasting dish, just to finish and to color. So what we have is this nice little cervelat, and it's very important, clean hands, you overlap. Look, it's well enough cling film there. Don't be afraid. And then you're going to say, hang on a minute, how is he going to roll that up? It's only that left. No worries, that's the point. Tight, seal, consistent, not too much cling film. Your leg, your thumb under, and you press like that. Not like this, like this. And you push back, like this. So basically you end up having this little chicken cervelat, nice and tight. Then bring on the top, roll it up, and start pressing and rolling like you're rolling a sweet on both sides. And you go forth. Keep going forth, keep going. And you can see this is keeping the same shape. Make sure you don't have any nails, which obviously I can't stand having people having nails when they cook. I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm saying it's not very hygienic, and also anyone with long nails will definitely burst into the cling film. And when you're coming to the end, instead of going to the obvious way, which is forward, you don't. You retrieve back. And that will allow to reinforce and tight the cling film together. So you keep going forward, and when you're ready, you don't stop, you bring everything back. Look what's happening. Look what's happening. Look what's happening. Nice and tight. Look at that. Look at that. Done. So less cling film, nice and tight, perfect. So what do? This goes this way. So let me wash my hands again. Nice little tip, isn't it? Love it. And that's what I love about cooking. There's always a way to do better. Anybody can succeed. Anybody can express. You don't need to have lots of diploma and certificates and degrees. You can join in without. You can be academic, you can be, look me, I left, like many of people I know, left very early the school. It didn't stop you to succeed. And you can succeed very quickly. And there is so much to do. With cooking, it's a non-stop. It's like music. There is always, a little serenade or a little chorus or a little something that you can create or you can change. As long as you do it with your heart and your passion, people will always enjoy what you're doing. And don't forget, we need to eat every day. That's an advantage. Now, all of them, so you might have the turkey legs. One leg will have 2 pieces. So you got 4 pieces out of one turkey leg. Okay, you can do that with pheasants, partridge, The only thing I've not actually tried yet is frog legs. That's not funny, okay. So basically speaking, that goes in the water, cold water. Cold water, bring to the boil. It might take 2-3 minutes. So all your little piece of legs goes there. Bring to the boil, turn it down, simmer for about 15-18 minutes. That's it. No cover, nothing else. Make sure there's ample water, plenty. So this will end up to be cooked. Now, I just made a small mistake because I've used something raw with something cooked. So don't worry, that's going to go straight to the bin. Nobody will even touch it. But when it's cooked, after 18 minutes, simmered, very importantly, the pot, when it's cold, in the fridge. And all night, at least if you can, or at least minimum 4 hours. 4 hours. Why? Because water, stainless steel, is a conductor of cold. Your fridge should be 4 degrees. So that, as soon as very quick, this will turn to become very, very chilled. Classified as chilled. So you will not even be able to leave your hand for 1 minute in that water. It's so cold. And it's good for 2 reasons. Because when you poached your chicken, the only thing you have to do is to make sure, as a small, very important tip, and I wanted to show you it now, not before, not to confuse you. Just before you poach your legs, that's what you need to do. 1 little valve. Clack. Did you see that? No more. So that little valve, when this is getting to the boil and simmering for about 15 to 18 minutes, even for a turkey leg, by the way, the heat goes in quickly. If you don't do that valve, this is going to become like a balloon. So it's going to seal and the heat won't be able to go inside. So if you put like, for the moment I've got stuffing, but you could put prawns, you could put something delicate, it might go off. So you're going to make sure when it's boiling, the heat goes straight inside and it's going to be 65 degrees as soon as possible. And then take your time to simmer and to cook it properly. Also, that little valve, when this gets cold and it goes resting in the fridge, the chill water or the chill content of the liquid is going to actually vacuum pack your paupiette. So all the elements of fat or whatever inside will be coming off. It's just unbelievable. It's just superb. And then you end up with something like this. Cooked. So after 4 hours or the whole night, in a pan, in this chilled liquid, you end up with something like this. And this is very, very special. Let me get a new knife. So on Christmas Day, this can be done 2-3 days before Christmas Day. The only thing you have to cook or to worry about is to roast your crown. Make sure the crown is out of the fridge for about 30 minutes before you roast it. So basically, it's a lot less timing because we got no legs. This is already cooked, so you got 2 choices. You can slice this like that on both sides if you wish to, and then remove the cling film entirely. I would like to emphasize once again, this is actually cooked entirely. The only thing you need to do is just to elevate a little bit more flavors, a little bit more colors, and just finish cooking alongside with the crown. So basically, it's no worry about that. You will not undercook it or even overcook it. So what I need to do now is delicately remove the cling film. Oh, the smell is fantastic. It is lovely. And it's cold, by the way. So imagine, this could be easily served like a little canapé on little brioches, for aperitif or whatever. This could end up on a barbecue. It's cooked, so there is nothing to do. Just put a little bit of a nice oily with a bit of honey, smoked paprika, few spices, and finish it on the grill, on the barbecue. This is superb. Or what you can do, I just want to slice through it. It's very easy to slice, by the way. And then you end up with this. Look at that. It smells absolutely superb. This stuffing, don't miss out. It's a superb recipe. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what is the next stage. Now, you might not want to get the pieces of the legs, stuff of the turkey, which is basically 4. You might probably want to use on a day of Christmas Day, maybe 2 pieces out of 4 or 3, and keep one as a leftover, because it'll be well too many. So when your roasting goes about, you just put the legs in next to the crown, like I said, with the potatoes, whatever, and you will have all the skin nice and crispy. It's just superb, honestly. Now another tip, what you can do, you can use a little bit of brand stock. So out of the fridge, out of the pan with the liquid, take the cling film off, slice them, put them in the bottom with some little reduction, touch of herbs, piece of garlic, maybe a little bit of onion, in the oven for 15 minutes. So you end up having this to be lovely and glazed, and it's superb. So this one, for example, let me show you something very quickly. So add a tiny amount of oil, just a tiny bit on each, not too much, at the last minute before you serve it. So you can imagine, this is not even hot. This is still cold. So imagine when it's coming out of the oven after 10, 12, 15 minutes, you open up the things, it's just fantastic. And look at that, it's lovely. I just love it. Simple. I mean, you can just buy chicken legs, you don't have to buy the full chicken, and so on. So this is what you end up with. Those little gigolette of chicken, or chicken legs, stuffed with my Christmas stuffing. And also you will notice this one, instead of stuffing, has a little bit of sweet potatoes. The same way, you replace the stuffing with a sweet potatoes, or you can have celeriac, or you can have aubergine, you can have whatever. It's the same principle with the rolling of the cling film. So that goes in oven, like I said. Occasionally use a spoon and just nap around. Serve this on a little bit celeriac mash, potatoes celeriac. Bon appétit, joyeux Noël, enjoy it. So, bon appétit, joyeux Noël, and please don't forget, you can catch up all the recipes on Mycardirect website. And if you want to come back with some feedback or some questions or whatever, I'm very happy to take time to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I really honestly mean bon appétit, joyeux Noël, and I really hope you enjoy yourself. Bye bye. Salut.